Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Eric Newton, the head football coach of Canton football, or I should say, the head coach of the Canton Cobras.
Yeah,
How's it going?
it's going good. Things are kind of picking up. We're 50 days, I think, away from kickoff now. Because a lot of teams are playing on that Thursday, but Bedford wanted to play on the Friday, so that's what we're doing because we're going down there.
Hmm, interesting. Maybe that could be a game I might go to. You never know. So let's talk about some of the things. The last time when you came on here, that was just when you were first hired and all that. Now that things have now you kind of know the kids and you kind of know what you have, and now while we're off the dead period, it is I'd like to declare it is officially go time.
Yes, yes, it is. We've had some 7-on-7s over the summer. Our summer workout numbers are good. Um, we got a lot of kids showing up to that. Again, it's at a different facility just because there's a lot of construction going on at Canton. And we have a camp at the end of July. So um, it'll give us a better idea, I think, of what our numbers are going to be once August 12th hits.
Okay,
So
so I think the biggest question I'll ask is this: what are people going to expect from Canton football when you hit the field for the first time?
um well, trying to return Canton football to what they were, like disciplined, hard-nosed kids that play the game the right way. So that's what our coaching staff's trying to instill. Throwing a lot at the players, and the players are responding to it very well so far. So we like to see that. They compete when we're at 7-on-7. They compete in the weight room with each other and against themselves. So we really don't have to say much in that aspect. So, and the seniors are doing a good job of leading that.
Okay, this is my favorite part of the when I do these interviews. It's time to talk about some of the returners and some of the players to watch. We'll start with the skill positions and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Skill positions, Alex Gadani, right? Running back, who you recently interviewed.
Yeah.
Expecting him to have a big year. He's improved tremendously just from body type to speed, right? From last year. Devin Calhoun, a quarterback, is making tremendous steps over the summer. He's working hard. So, and then both are seniors. We have another senior, Nick Parrish, linebacker, wide receiver. Expecting some big things out of him as well.
Yep.
Lem Petway playing linebacker as well.
Okay.
Expecting him to have a big season.
Yeah.
From our skill position wise. Those are some of the seniors. I'm sure I'm forgetting some. And then our offensive line, Caden Mullins.
Yep.
Looking him, Jake Lowe. We've got a few lacrosse players that are gonna help us out. A couple baseball players, Colin Wetmore, Jonah Osborne. So I think up front on both sides of the ball, that's where we're gonna figure out where we win or lose, right?
Yep.
7-on-7 is one thing, but when we put the pads on, we gotta be able to run it on 3rd and short or 4th and short. That's where we're gonna figure out where we're gonna be.
All right, let's talk. I know you kind of touched on a few of them, but what are some of the line? What's the offensive and defensive line going to look like?
Size wise, I think we'll be competitive in that aspect. Nick King, Jake Lowe, Jonah Osborne, Colin Wetmore, Dwayne Keon. Those are four seniors. Wetmore's a junior. Jonah Osborne will be a junior. So we have some leadership, some new guys stepping in. And again, they're learning a new scheme from last year. So like we've had we'll put stuff on huddle, we'll send stuff out to kids, see if they're watching it, asking questions. So we have, in-person meetings, to go over drill work or whatever we're doing, just talk about our blocking scheme with the running backs and quarterbacks. And we've had a good response with that, good turnout when we had those meetings earlier in the year. And then obviously it's easier to do that in the summer when you can just kind of install some things as well.
All right. Okay, so let's talk about the linebackers in secondary.
So linebackers, look, Parrish and Petway will play a huge role in that linebacker role. Dami will be our outside linebacker slash safety. Um, and then in the secondary, you may see Gadani, you may see Calhoun. Just to trying to figure out how we're going to use our guys, right? We want our best athletes on the field as much as possible, as long as it doesn't hinder us in other places.
Absolutely. What's special teams going to look like this year?
Um, without getting, I mean, we'll be very detailed in what we're going to do. I mean, it's not going to be anything out of the ordinary, I guess you would say. We're not going to try to do anything crazy. I'm not going to go for it on 4th and 5 all the time like Dan Campbell, but you know, our special teams will play a huge role in what we want to do and try and set some things up.
Okay. All right. I know we talked about the kids. Now let's talk about the schedule. Of course, it's the same exact schedule as last year.
Yeah,
Um, of course, as you mentioned, at Temperance Bedford, that'll be on the 30th. And
correct.
of course, conference play begins September 6th. You'll be at your first home game. That'll be against Howell. September 13th at Novi. September 20th, home against Northville. September 27th at Plymouth. October 4th at Brighton. October 11th, home against Salem. October 18th, home against Heartland. And then October 25th will be the crossover game where all of the KLAA West teams will host.
Yes.
So that includes, of course, all the teams I just mentioned. So pretty good schedule as always, and you know how tough this division is. Of course,
Oh yeah.
you looked from the other side last year in the East Division, but what's it gonna be like playing all these teams?
I mean, again, for me, just having some familiarity with a year at Plymouth under my belt 2 years ago, just knowing how some of the teams are, the coaches haven't really changed. I know Heartland had a new coach last year, was his first year. And then even with Northville getting a new coach, but he was with Brighton, so got an idea of what they're going to do.
Yeah,
I think just for us, it's the coaches getting the kids in the right place and just getting them prepared for what they're going to see. So when we go out there, it's not like a complete shock to them. And then just, you know, making sure that we're competitive and knowing what we're doing. I think that's part of, you know, it's half the battle. If we know what we're going up against and know how to line up, I mean, I mean, if that's the case, you got a puncher's chance sometimes.
absolutely.
So,
And just kind of take me through what the timeline is for the next for the rest of this month is before we head into camp and then into the first game.
I mean, we'll continue our workouts up until August. And then at the end of July, we'll have one more team camp. Next week, we're going out to Chelsea for their Goose Poops 7-on-7 little sponsorship they have going on.
Yep.
And we have 24 teams out there. So they just released the pool play, I think, late last night. So we should get some good competition out there, get some good reps out there. And then we'll be off that first week of August. And then August 12th comes, and then we start our 2-a-days. And then it's just installs and reps and getting ready for the season to start. So
Absolutely. It's going to be here before you know it. Of course, a lot of exciting stuff happening for stuff and also congrats, and we'll be looking forward to getting your first game as a varsity head coach under your belt. So that'll be
yes, very, very excited about that opportunity. So
yeah. All right. Well, Eric, thank you so much for the time as always, and best of luck to you. Best of luck to the Cobras coming up coming this fall.
thank you. Appreciate having me on again.